Hi guys, this is a quick tutorial on how to use Desmos to graph a system of equations and how to change the scale on Desmos so that we can find that point of intersection. I'll also go over how to add labels to both our x and y axes. So I'm going to start by just typing in two equations that I may have been given in one of my word problems. Let's say the first one is y equals 10x plus 100. And the second one is y equals 2x plus 200. Okay, so this is just an example of the type of equations you might be typing in. Now you may have noticed after I typed these equations in, both lines are not viewable to me, and I cannot see that point of intersection. Okay, so what I'm going to start by doing is clicking this minus sign here where it says zoom out on the right side of my page. And I'm just going to zoom out until I can see both of those lines and the point of intersection. Okay, so now I've zoomed out pretty far. I can see the point of intersection right here, and I'm seeing both lines, one in green and one in purple. Now from here, I don't just want to take a screenshot of this. I want to adjust my scale so that I'm only seeing in this window the parts of the lines that I need to see. Okay, so let's look at the y-axis and the x-axis and see how we could possibly adjust this so we're only seeing the parts of these two graphs that we really need to look closely at. So I'm going to check out my x-axis first. It looks like all of the important pieces of these lines, including that point of intersection, are within negative 200 and 200, maybe even closer together. But first, I'm going to start by scaling it down between negative 200 and 200. To do that, we're going to click on this graph settings tool on the right hand. It's like a little wrench. And you can see that I have options here for what is shown on my x-axis. Right now, it's going all the way to negative 905. I only want it going to negative 200 and up to positive 200. Okay, so now from here, we can see we have a much better view of the graph. I can see all of the important pieces of both lines with this scale. Now I'm going to look at my scale for the y-axis next, and I can see that it's going past negative 400. I don't really think it needs to go past negative 400. I can maybe condense that scale as well. So let's go ahead and adjust our y-axis next. And if you scroll with two fingers, it's going to zoom you back out. So let me move my little face here. All right, so notice that I tried scrolling with two fingers to try and get myself to move over to the side, and that's going to mess you up. It readjusted my x-axis. Now I'm going to change the x-axis again to between negative 200 and positive 200. And now the y-axis, we had said we were going to adjust to, see, just negative 400 to positive 400. Okay. And now when I click that wrench again and close the settings, I have a really nice view of both of these lines along with a good view of that point of intersection. Okay. Now the next thing I want to show you guys is how to add labels. So let's say these two equations were based on a word problem, and maybe that word problem had to do with distance and time. So how far I'm walking over a period of time. My x-axis, I can click on that wrench again and add a label to it. The label for my x-axis would be time, and in parentheses, I can write hours if that were measured in hours. And on my y-axis, I'm going to write distance, and let's say distance was measured in miles. Okay, so these are the boxes where you can add a label to each axis. And notice when I click that wrench, you can see that the x-axis was labeled time in hours, and the y-axis was labeled distance in miles. So now we have nice labels on our graph as well. The last thing you want to do before taking your screenshot is click on this point of intersection. When you click on that point, it's going to darken so that it's really clear. That way, when you take your screenshot of the graph and upload it, we're going to have a clear view of that point of intersection, which we know is the solution to our system of equations. If you have any questions, please address your instructor and they can help you figure out any errors you might be making on Desmos. Have a good day. Good luck on your project, everyone.